Hello, and welcome to the Jacksonville Area Museum. Visitors often have questions about our city and the area, so we thought it might be good to start your visit with some of those questions and the answers.
Where did the early settlers come from, and why did they come to this area?
Many of the early settlers were from the southeast. They came over the mountains through the Cumberland Gap, stopped for a generation or two in Kentucky and Tennessee, and then pushed on to the Illinois frontier. Under the prairie grass, they discovered the rich soil of the area. A key early settler was the Reverend John M. Ellis, a Presbyterian minister. His mission was to prepare the way to build churches and schools for the incoming population that was to flood the rich prairies. He, along with the help of others, began the process to found Illinois College. An association of young men from New Haven, Connecticut, agreed to start a college on the frontier, later termed the Yale Band. The seven corresponded with Reverend Ellis. In 1829, Illinois College came into being. It was the first college in the state of Illinois to graduate a class. It can be argued that starting Illinois College was the largest single factor in shaping the future of Jacksonville. Years later, a member of the Yale Band wrote, "I'm glad to remember that Jacksonville did not have its origin in the horse racing, gambling hell, or other rascality." Since its beginning, a religious and academic atmosphere has permeated Jacksonville. New Englanders streamed in, bringing their thoughts, values, and tendency to found institutions, societies, and other organizations. The generally accepted story is that it was named for Andrew Jackson, the hero of New Orleans and presidential contender of the period. Another version of folklore that it was named after a black youngster. The youngster got lost in the tall prairie grass and finally saw some men driving stakes near the location of the current courthouse. They asked his name. He responded, A.W. Jackson. They said they were laying out a town, and they were going to name it after him.
I have a question. How many Jacksonvilles are there in the United States?
According to Wikipedia, 20 states have a community named Jacksonville.
I've heard the 19th century, prior to the Civil War, was Jacksonville's golden time. Was it?
By 1860, Jacksonville had over 5,500 residents. In addition to Illinois College, it was the home of the Illinois Female College, which later became McMurray College, the Illinois Institute for the Education of the Deaf and Dumb, now the Illinois School for the Deaf, the Illinois School for the Blind, now the Illinois School for the Visually Impaired, and the Illinois State Hospital for the Insane, later known as the Jacksonville Developmental Center. Two Jacksonvillians served as governor of Illinois, Joseph Duncan and Richard Yates, who was governor during the Civil War. Many other notable figures were in Jacksonville during the first half of the 19th century. In fact, one would be hard-pressed to find a time in Jacksonville's history or in the history of any other Illinois town of comparable size when so many persons of state and national repute rubbed shoulders.
I have a question. Does Jacksonville have the oldest women's organization?
It does. Named the Ladies' Education Society. It was formed in 1833 to help needy and worthy women obtain an education.
Who was the city's first inhabitant?
One of the town's most famous early inhabitants was Catherine Kendall Carson, better known as Mother Carson, the wife of Thomas Carson. Most likely the town's first tavern keeper and its first jailer. Mother Carson was a midwife. She was much sought after because of her remarkable success. She seldom lost a patient, and according to several sources, delivered about 3,000 children during her career.
Is it true modern dentistry had its beginnings in Jacksonville?
As a matter of fact, yes. Dr. Green Vardman Black was born near Winchester in 1836. After a brief period of service in the Civil War, Dr. Black established a dental practice in Jacksonville. While Jacksonville was the base for his dental office, Dr. Black traveled to St. Louis, Iowa City, and Chicago to teach at colleges. He was a dental researcher, author, dental instrument designer, and a dental teacher. His formula for silver fillings was used for nearly 70 years. In 1900, he was elected president of the National Dental Association.
What was Jacksonville's first industry?
Most likely, Jacksonville Woolen Mills. Joseph Capps started the woolen mills in 1839 to card wool, later named J. Capps and Sons. The industry evolved into making blankets and ultimately became a manufacturer of quality men's clothing sold throughout America. Another early industry was cigar manufacturing. Benjamin Piatt began the first cigar business in 1843. By the turn of the century, there were 13 factories employing some 130 cigar makers who turned out over 200,000 cigars annually. Cigar making remained a big factor in Jacksonville industry until the 1920s.
Is it true that all coffee is made in Jacksonville?
While that is a myth, Jacksonville was fortunate in the decades of the 1960s and 70s to attract many industrial operations, largely due to the ample supply of water. After perennial summer water famines, the city leaders in 1954 hired engineers to plan a pipeline. The engineers ultimately decided on sinking an 85-foot well just north of Naples in the Illinois River Valley. On August 26, 1955, a huge celebration was held to dedicate the 23-mile pipeline. Jacksonville had already attracted Mrs. Tucker, and in the years that followed, industries including Carnation, Mobile Chemical, and Capitol Records located plants in Jacksonville.
So, did the Beatles really play in Jacksonville?
While the Beatles never performed in Jacksonville, they certainly played a role in the city's employment in the 1960s. The Fab Four helped build Capitol Records' success, and in 1964, Capitol opened the first building of what became a sprawling manufacturing facility at the west edge of Jacksonville. The original plant at 1 Capitol Way was built to meet the surge in demand for Beatle records that followed the Fab Four to the United States. People did pack the Jacksonville Square to hear the Letterman performing at Capitol Records' welcoming ceremony in 1965.
So I've seen the Ferris wheels all over town, and I would love to know their connection to Jacksonville.
In 1919, the Big Eli factory was moved from Root House to Jacksonville. Big Eli's founder, William Sullivan, had visited the World Columbian Exposition in 1893 and got an idea that a smaller, portable wheel could be made using the principles of G.W.G. Ferris. For years, Jacksonville was known as the Ferris wheel capital of the world. So that's a sampling of the questions from visitors. Through the answers, hopefully you now know a little more about the city, which in its early years was often referred to as the Athens of the West. Enjoy the museum, and thank you for coming.